In today's project, we're going to take these acrylic signs from KMART to create these signs for your Easter decorations. Let's make this. My inspiration is, after buying these little signs from Kmart, I have never thought of what I could do with them. Everyone makes these beautiful signs for weddings or engagement parties or graduations or whatever, but I have no need for any of that kind of stuff. But when I was thinking about Easter, I thought, well, why not have like a little sign that you could put on your dining table, or you could put it at your front door or on one of your credenzas. So I thought I'll try and use some permanent vinyl and see what I can come up with. And also, we all know I love a pun, so I'm going for an Easter pun as well. The materials we're using today are a sign that I got from Kmart. I'm not sure if they're still available, but they were last season, and they're an acrylic sign that's got a wooden base. So I got that from Kmart, only for a couple of dollars. I've got my HTV Ront mixed permanent vinyl pack that I got from Amazon, as well as my scrap adhesive and a standard grip mat. So to design our sign today, we're going to use obviously Cricut Design Space. We're going to use Google Images, and we're also going to use 1001 fonts. So in a search for an Easter pun, I did find Pink Bunny Club, and I thought Chappel Roan, oh my goodness, let's go with it. So I'm going to create a sign that says, I'm going to keep on dancing at the Pink Bunny Club. I'm so excited because I just love the song and it's so catchy, and it's just a really cute way of incorporating some current culture or current music into your Easter sign. So I'm just starting in Design Space and I'm just putting the text. I've kind of broken the text up so you can see that I haven't just typed it all as one. I've got I am gonna as one line, keep on dancing as another line, at the, and then pink and the bunny and the club are all separate. So my next step is to create a shape. Now the shape is just a representation of the acrylic sign. Now I have measured the sign from where the wood starts rather than from the base. So the wood starts and measures up to a 20 centimetre height, and then it's a 14.5 centimetre width for the rectangle. Now we're going to delete that rectangle later, but it's just as a guide. Now I'm going to go over to images, and I've done an image search for bunny because we need a bunny in this somehow. And I've chosen the free images, and nothing's really jumping out at me that's going to really give us the vibe for the Pink Bunny Club. So I've gone into Google Images. Now, I think I'm just going to go for the ears for this one. So I want an outline. Now we can use any of these ones that come up with the pink inside. It's just that we're going to have to play around with it maybe a little bit too much. So I'm just going to do a little bit of scrolling, and I'm looking for those little floppy ears. Look at how cute they are. But this one here's got a watermark. So I'm looking for one that doesn't have a watermark through it. So this one might work. Yeah, when it opens up, it's clear. So then I just want to do a right click and open a new tab just to make sure there's no watermarks over it. And it's a nice clear image without all that fuzziness. And it's perfect, so I'm just going to save it. Now you can see there it's a .avif file, so we need to make sure that we save it as a .png. So I've just called it bunnyears.png. It's asking me if I'm sure that's how I want to save it. And then let's go disco ball, because disco ball is the dance, right? We're dancing at the disco club. We're dancing at the Pink Bunny Club. So I'm looking for a outline of a disco ball. Now I want the disco ball in that kind of grid shape, but it's got those bits missing. It's got the stars. It's actually quite popular in a lot of t-shirt designs. So I'm looking for something like that. Now just remember that by doing these Google Images, these are not things we can sell. These are things that we're doing for our own purpose. So I found this one, and it's actually got a transparent background, which is perfect. It means we've got less deleting of our background that we need to worry about. So again, I've just saved it as a .png file just in case, but it looks like it already was one. And then I just need to go through and do the upload of each. So I click on upload image. You can go browse or you can drag your image across. And then you just have to get rid of any background. So the disco ball should be easy as long as it was telling the truth. So see how there is no background for us to get rid of, which is perfect because we've got all those squares and things. And then we're going to upload it as a single layer because we want to cut this out. So upload it as a single layer, and then I'm just going to make it obviously smaller so it sits on our screen a little bit better and easier for us to see. And I'm going to repeat that with the bunny ears. Now with the bunny ears, we're going to have to delete the background because it was not a transparent background image that we collected. But because it is all an open image, we're just going to have to click once and look at that. It all disappears. Do a quick preview single layer to check. And then upload it again as a single layer because we are cutting this out as from vinyl. Once we've resized it, our next job is to then sort out our font. Now I'm looking for a bit of an Easter font. So I'm going to go to 1001fonts.com and I'm going to go to font categories because they do break up a lot of their fonts into different categories like years, or it could be techno, or it could be, I don't know, gothic or whatever. But there's actually a whole an occasions option, and Easter is one of them. So I'm just going to kind of look for something that's got a bit of a funky dance kind of vibe, because all I'm going to do is use this Easter specific font as the Pink Bunny Club font. So I'm just going to have a bit of a scroll through, and I've settled on this one called Easter Sunday. Now it's not jumping out at you and screaming Easter, but it's actually quite really cool and really funky. So I like it because I've typed in the words Pink Bunny Club. I can see exactly what that font's going to look like when I use it. So I'm just going to download it. You can see there that it is not a font because it's got that red tag. It is not a font we can use to sell products. It is a font for our own personal use. And then we just need to find a corresponding font. So I'm going to go to wordmark.it and I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can find different fonts that I have already downloaded onto my computer. And if I press the select button, now I'm starting with Easter Sunday because that's the one that I'm definitely going to use for Pink Bunny Club. And then I can click on a lot of other fonts, whatever other fonts that I like and I think might work. So I'm going through and I'm just hitting that plus sign. And then once I hit that plus sign, I go up to filter selected fonts. Now when I click on that, you'll see that it shows all of the fonts I have clicked on, and I can then make a decision about which ones are going to work with my project. Now I think they all look pretty good, but I think I'm going to stick with the Rostilla, which is just underneath the Easter Sunday there. And I've already got it downloaded, so I don't need to go and download it from 1001 Fonts or anything like that. So I can just go straight back into Cricut Design Space. Now that I'm back in Design Space, all I need to do is click on each of those components. So I'm going to start with the Rostilla font, and I'm going to change the I am gonna keep on dancing I'm going to change that all to Rostilla. So I'll just quickly go through and fix all of those up. I'm not worried about the size at the moment. We'll work on that in a minute. And then I'm going to change the Pink Bunny Club to Easter Sunday. Now you can see that I've typed it in and it's not there. And that's because I haven't done a reload. So I just need to save it. Then I go up to View and I click on Reload. And now that I've done a reload, when I go back in to change the font of pink, I should be now able to go to System, type in Easter, and it should appear straight away. And there it is. So I can click on that, and now I can change all of the Easter Sunday, the Bunny Club, and the Bunny and the Club to Easter Sunday. So now it's a matter of working out what my layout's going to be. I've changed that square to white just because it's clear. It will just help us to visualize what the whole thing is going to look like. Now, I'm going to put the ears and the disco ball on the back of the acrylic, and then I'm going to put the text over the top. And I'm not going to worry about doing offsetting and all of that kind of stuff at the moment for this project. I'm just going to utilize the front and the back as of the acrylic as part of our design. So now it's just a matter of moving all of these components around. I'm going to speed it up because each person will design theirs in their own way. So I'm going to have a play around with it. Just need to make sure that all of that text is at the front of our design so that it doesn't go behind our big square. It probably just would have been easier if I moved it all to the back, to the square, the bunny and the disco ball to the back, but I didn't. Anyway, I'm going to speed that up now and get it all in place. It's all in place. I've had a real good look at it, and I think what I'm going to do is an offset around the text. So I've selected the I'm going to keep on dancing at the as one group, and then I'm going to do an offset around it. The reason I want to do offset around the text is because I've got the imagery behind the text. I don't want the words to kind of disappear into our disco ball and our ear image. So I'm just doing a 0.1 centimeter offset because I don't want a big one. I just want it to be enough. I'm not worrying about contouring anything because the contour isn't. I want to be able to see that these are actually letters. I don't want it to sort of cover up the disco ball and the ears so much. So don't worry about doing any contouring for this one in particular. Then I've just clicked on each object and I have attached the I am going to keep on dancing at the. I've clicked on all three of those and I've gone down to attach so that when we cut it, it cuts as one piece. And same with the pink bunny club. I'm going to click on each of those and attach them as well. So then when I do cut it, it's going to cut as one piece rather than multiple. Then once I'm happy with it and I've got the size of everything that I want, I'm just going to make sure I save it. And then I go to make. I'm going to move around the objects onto the mat. So the first one I can do is actually hide the white square. The reason I can do that is because I forgot to get rid of it in the project. And we don't need it. We're not cutting anything out. Now, if you were doing this and it was a text or something that needed a specific direction, you would have to mirror the ears and you would have to mirror the mirror ball because you're looking at it from a different perspective. But because the ears and the mirror ball are not left or right specific, I'm not going to worry about mirroring. It doesn't need to happen. Then I'm just moving things around. So each component, if you click on the circle with the three dots, you can actually move it to another mat. Reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to actually group them. To start off with, I just group them as to which one is put all the text on one and put all of the images on another. But the vinyl I've chosen to use is just the HTV Ront vinyl for the text and the bunny ears. And then I've got some leftover old smart vinyl from Cricut that I'm going to use for the disco ball because it's a silver vinyl and the silver actually looks really good from the sticky side as well as the front side. So I'm using that as the disco ball. And then I've got a really cool aqua kind of colour for the text. But that means when I go in to make the disco ball and the text, I need to make sure that I choose the smart vinyl. I think the vinyl cut is probably fine, but I feel like it might be a little bit thicker because it's smart vinyl. It might be a bit thicker. So that's why I put it on the same mat, and that's why you need to make sure you choose smart vinyl as your vinyl of choice for that one. And then with the text and the bunny ears, I've just chosen regular vinyl. Then I hit continue. Now that everything's cut and weeded, now it's just a matter of putting it all together. So I'm going to start on the side with the disco ball and the ears. Now I'm just using my weeding tool to lift the backing that's been put on the acrylic sign. So on both sides, as a protection, there's a little bit of plastic, so you can take that off. But if you saw that little spot, I did see that people are kind of saying if you take that acrylic backing off, you shouldn't need to use any alcohol wipes or anything. But this is a little bit grotty. You know how sometimes KMART stuff can have a little bit of dust and things. So I'm just using a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So I use Isocol from Coles and just rubbing it down with some paper towel. And then I've just got a little bottle that's got some detergent in it and some water. And I'm just going to use the wet method. Because it's a two-sided sign, I don't want it to be bubbly. So I'm just using the tiniest little bit. So if you've seen my videos lately, I've just been going a little bit OTT with the wet method and putting too much spray down. But this one, I've just had the tiniest little bit, and hopefully that will be enough to just help us with the bubbling. Now, how great is this colour? I just absolutely love it. It's a HTV Ront pink that came in that mixed pack. And I'm just going to fold this in half. I mean, I'm not going to do a lot of measuring, but I just want to be able to, just to know where the middle line is of those ears. Because you can see that even though technically the middle of the ears is the middle of the ears, but because they've got this flop, the actual middle of the decal is kind of inside that floppy ear. So, like I said, I'm not being super pedantic about it. And the other thing I need to remember is just to move those ears up a little bit, because we don't want them behind the wooden component of this sign. We want them to sit above it. So I've just moved it up from the base. And now it's just a matter of squeegeeing it out. You just kind of get not only flattening the vinyl down, but you're also just getting rid of any of that water or the detergent water mix that might still be underneath our vinyl before we lift our backing or our transfer tape. So I'm just doing a little bit of pushing out, and let's see. It doesn't look like there's any bubbling in there. I know that I haven't taken that backing off yet, so it's still a bit foggy, but it looks pretty good. So let's see, moment of truth. Is it going to lift or not? So it's lifted a little bit there. So it's just a bit, you've just got to be a bit patient with the wet method, but I feel like just from that first lift that I've done a much better job. And again, it could just be a matter of just pulling it down instead of up, you know, from the top of the ear down rather than from the bottom of the ear where there's more components. So it looks like it's coming off. I'm just using a bit of paper towel to get rid of the liquid as I go, just to help out, but I think it's going to go perfectly. Love it. Love this colour. All right, the next thing is to start working on the disco ball. So I'm going to follow the same process. Once I've look at this vinyl. So it's actually not the vinyl's fault. It's Cricut's fault. I don't know why. I mean, I do understand why they did this backing so heavy, because it's supposed to be the smart vinyl. And so you need it to have some kind of stability. I get that. But it's so hard, that white backing of your permanent or removable vinyl is so hard that as you try and lift it off, it's just lifting the whole decal up. And because this is in little components, it's not getting a lot of grip. So our beautiful disco ball is just having the worst time. It's just lifting every component. Oh, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I can't wait for it. I don't like throwing out vinyl that I can use because it seems like such a waste of money. But it's just impossible. If you've got any tricks or tips that you can pass on as to how to use this smart vinyl better, I bought it when I got my Cricut because, you know, when you buy a Cricut, you think, well, obviously all of their stuff's going to be great, and I haven't watched a YouTube clip or anything. I just buy the vinyl that comes with that's made by the people who make the machine, because surely they'd know the best. But this Cricut stuff is just, even their iron-on. Anyway, all right, I'm going to speed this up because no one can watch this. I can't. I don't even want to do it. But see how good the silver is, though. So when you actually do get it, see how it's still shiny on the back side of it. So it's the perfect vinyl, but oh crikeys. So that honestly, I think took about 7 or 8 minutes. Like, look at the poor disco ball. I even had to move bits back into the right spot. But she's beautiful. So it's really sad that it's so hard and Cricut make it so hard to do this. So now I don't even know if this wet method's going to work. I'm so disillusioned with Cricut vinyl. I really am. It's like, the worst part is it's kind of on par with like the KMART or that Crafter's Choice that you get from Spotlight. I just find it so frustrating. Do people test it out before they put it on the shelf? Do they actually have a go? Do they watch all of these YouTube clips that people put together and then think, can this vinyl actually make these basic projects? Because I'm going to say no, Cricut. We can't use your smart vinyl for basic projects like this. So just putting the disco ball down, same as when I did the ears. You're just going to have to, because it's the wet method, some of it will come up, and that's fine. That part I was expecting. So it's just a matter of, I'm just going to use the squeegee to hold parts down as I go, making sure that I'm not lifting too much. And then we can flip it over and get on with the text. Now that that's done, see how good it looks? See that silver? It really comes through. I love it. Anyway, so now I've taken the backing off the front of it. And now, again, just giving it a little bit of a wipe with the alcohol. There's like a line down the side. Oh, I think that's a scratch. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Doesn't seem to be coming off. It looks like a scratch from production. And then there's a little blue bit inside my disco ball. But I think because the text is going over the top of it, I think I'll be right. I can just make sure the text sits over the top of it. There's a few little bumps, but it'll be fine. All right, so now I'm going to put my offsets down first. I'm just going to check and make sure that I've got placement pretty well organised so that I'm not going to leave my pink bunny club kind of too far down. And then it's just a matter of layering this. So I'm going to put the offsets down first, and I might speed through that process. Again, I'm just using the wet method. And then once I've got those down, all I need to do is make sure that I place in the same manner. I'm not using the wet method this time. I'm just going to place it down. I'm eyeballing it. You could use the baking paper method, which I might show you next time I do a vinyl project, because I thought I'd done it before, but looks like I haven't. But look, with this one, I don't think perfection is necessary. So you could just eyeball it and put it together. But I am loving it. It looks so good. How cute is it? I love this little project. As I said before, I've been looking for ways to use these acrylic signs from Kmart, and this seems to be the perfect way. I cannot wait to get to the Pink Bunny Club at Easter. It's a great project for beginners as we're looking at some vinyl tips and some layering, but it's also great for using up your scrap vinyl if you're a long-time Cricut crafter, or if you're just looking for some new inspiration. Hope you've enjoyed today's project. I can't wait to see you next week for another Easter-inspired project. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below.